Hey everybody, it's Mrs. S here. So I had the privilege last week to go to the Lion Brand outlet out in New Jersey, and I took my aunt and her friend and we had an amazing time, and I found lots of really cool yarn, and of course I came back with tons of yarn that I have stashed in the house, and this was one of them. And I fell in love with this yarn because it just, I don't know, the colors remind me of mermaid with the glitter, and I wanted to do something really cool and make myself a shawl with it, but I didn't know what stitch I wanted to do. So I came up this really cool stitch that has this effect that looks kind of like scales without it being scales, and I'm calling it the circle scale stitch. I know that's a tongue twister. Circle scale or circle scales stitch. Basically, it is a variation of the drop stitch, or some of you know it as the elongated stitch, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Let me give you a quick peek at this. So this is the effect that I'm getting. Let me pull it out here so you can kind of see it better on this project. So it's kind of giving me a scale look without it being actual scales. It has these tiny little circle effect in it, and I just thought it was kind of cool, and I really just liked how it was looking on my project. So I shared it online, and a bunch of you were interested in how I did it. So I'm gonna try to walk you through this as best I can on the stitches and how I did it. So there are 8 rows to this stitch, and let me get you started and prepped in how to do that. Okay, so let's prep our loom. You want to do an even amount of stitches on your loom. It doesn't really matter how many, just as long as it's an even number. I'm doing mine as a flat wrap, so my 2 last and first pegs are going to be my turning pegs for my stitch. So after you put whatever cast on, or start with whatever cast on that you want to use for your loom, you are going to want to work from right to left for these stitches. I'm just pulling out some of my yarn here, getting it ready so it's prepped. Okay, so your first row 1 of your stitch is going to be the purl stitch. I'm going to do my best to do that out here for you to see. So we are going to purl this entire row from the side to the very end. So row 1 again is a purl stitch, and you just want to continue the entire row in purls. So I'm going to continue this row to the end. You can pause your video, and when you get to the end I will tell you what row 2 is. So just continue to purl to the very end of your loom. Okay, and I'm working on my last purl, and I'm going to E-wrap that last peg for my turning. So row 1 we finished, which was purls. This row, row 2, what you're going to start with is you're going to use the unit wrap, and you're going to do 2 unit, and then let's do our unit. Then you're going to unit and E-wrap the peg twice. Move to your next peg with the unit, wrap the peg twice. So you have 2 knit and then 2 that have the 2 E-wraps on each peg, and you're just going to continue that the whole way around. So this will be a unit, and then these 2 will have our drop stitches on, so we'll unit it and wrap the peg twice. Hopefully you can see that. And again, unit, because we're locking the stitch in place. Move on to your next 2 stitches, which are just 2 units. And then we'll do our drop stitch. wrap the peg twice, unit, whoops, wrap the peg twice, and continue that two, the whole way around your loom till you come to the end. We'll just continue on, and I'll meet you at the end of your row to show you your next step. All right, in my last pegs here, I'm U-knitting, wrapping the peg twice, unit, wrap the peg twice, and I'm finishing off with 2 units and wrapping my turning peg. So row 1 was purl, row 2 was 2 units and 2 units wrapped twice on the peg. Row 3, we're going to go back to our purls. You're always going to the right will always be purls, to your left will always be our units, so that might help you with doing this stitch. Now we're going to be taking off our drop stitches, so we're going to go back and we are going to purl the row. So we'll start with our purls, and we're going to be removing those 2 E-wraps that we put on our peg, and then we're gonna purl the stitch. So remove those drop stitches and then purl. And you're going to continue the row with all of your purls, removing those drop stitches. So just continue your row. I'll show you again, removing my stitches and purling. I apologize if the table is shaking while I'm trying to do this, but hopefully you can see. And you're just going to continue purling your row to the end. So I'm going to continue and I will get back to you with my last couple stitches on this row. Okay, we just finished row 3, which was all our purl stitches. Row 4, we're going to go back and unit the whole row. And after you unit, you'll be able to stretch out those drop stitches and pull them away from the peg to get the effect that you need. More here and I'll show you. So we're just unitting and then you'll be able to pull that stitch out. I don't know if you can see that. So continue unitting to the end and I'll meet you back here to tell you what you need to do for your next couple rows. Okay, so we finished our row 4. Your next 4 rows, you are going to be doing the exact same thing you just did, except for when you do your drop stitches, instead of E-wrapping the peg 2 times, you're going to E-wrap the peg 3 times. So row 5 will be your purl stitches. Row 6, coming back, you're going to be doing your unit on your peg. So unit 2, you'll unit and E-wrap the peg 3 times for each 2 pegs. Row 7 coming back is going to be your purl, and then to lock, and you're removing your drop stitch, and row 8 will be your unit the whole way around to the end of your project. So those 8 rows will give you this cool effect. So again, thank you so much for asking about this really cool stitch that I'm doing. I don't think anybody has done something like this, and if they have, I apologize. I'm calling it the circle scale stitch. I think it's turning out really cool. I'm so happy that people liked it and wanted a quick video on how to do it. I hope this is helpful for you. In the details of my video, I will have the information on this yarn, because I know I had a couple of you asking me about it, and I'm sure I'll be getting comments wanting to know what it's called and all the good stuff on that. So I'll make sure I will put that in there. I will also, at the end of this video, show a picture with your rows. You can take a snapshot of it, and then that way you have the pattern for your 8 rows on this stitch. So again, thanks again. Have a great day, and make sure to send me some info or show me your projects that you're doing this stitch with. I'll make sure to do another video so you can see the progress on my shawl. Have a great day, everybody.